Greetings from Area 51 Raceway. Today we're going to do a modification on the Carrera 124 scale 917K Porsche. This is a kit from Slot Invasion USA, and we'll just go over what we did with the car and the tires that it comes with and all the little goodies that comes with the car that to really make it ride really nice and handle real well. So please come join us. Welcome to Area 51 Raceway Bench here, and we have the Carrera 124 Digital 917K Porsche. What we've done is we've modified or actually added improved parts to the rear end of the car. So I'm going to remove the body, and you're going to see this is the Slot Invasion hop-up part right here, as I call it, a hop-up part. And what they've done here is we've replaced the spur gear, the pinion gear with a nylon, and then we've removed the motor and placed it in their carrier holder that they provide. And they do not have bushings, they have ball bearings, so really nice and smooth. They provide you with the axle, the tires, which are polyurethane tires, and the wheels, and all the screws and hardware. This part right here is like a little tab of metal. I'm not sure if that's to give it some movement or not. I haven't really messed with it, but I cinched it all the way down to just leave it, because that's what they provide with it. They do provide numerous amounts of shims, being that if you have a different car, they provide just a multiple amount of shims or spacers for you to use. So what I want to go over with this car is when I put this kit together, I wanted to go over a few things with it. Now keep in mind that this is a kit that you'll need to do modifications on your chassis for this particular car. There was MP Slot Car Space. It's a gentleman in Canada, a real good guy, nice videos. I subscribed to his channel. He did one on a Lola, and it's pretty, the way he put it together, it looks like he didn't do the modification I had to do to this car, because I think the Lola didn't need it. And I'm going to show you what it is. So I'm going to remove everything from here just to give you an idea, because I've already installed it. And what I'm going to do is take the tire off and take this other wheel, I should say, not tire. Actually, I'll slide this out. How's that? And then you see there's one shim, excuse me, that's dropped off here. This shim is, I believe, 115 thousandths inch thick. So that's the shim you'll use to get this to be the same width as the original rear end that went in this car. Because if you go too wide, it'll hit the body and then you'll have problems. Now I'm going to take this out, and you're going to see that there's ball bearings right here that they give you, and they just slide right in. They just push right in real easily. And then you transfer the motor, and then you replace the pinion. Make sure you have a appropriate pinion puller and a pinion press. I recommend the Slot Car Invasion one, which is a really good tool. I've had plenty of good luck with this. I've used this a lot on my scratch builds and what I've done in the past with other cars, and works very well. So with that being said right there, so basically what you do is you're transferring all these parts into to the new the motor. You're transferring the motor, and this part right here, this tab that goes over, which is the part you'll reuse. Now when you get this will be like together, and you'll have to snap it. You have to break this away from it because it gets connected back here, and then you just cut it off, and you remove it, and then you place this piece in there, which is, they give you the longer screws for this one, because if you have the magnet, or if you tend to keep the magnet, these are where the longer screws go. The shorter screws go in the back here, and then the longer ones in the front, because they provide too long and too short. Now here's one thing that you need to be aware of when you put this little kit in here. You will have to grind down the, I'm going to show you here. You'll have to grind down this part right here. As you can see where I put the Dremel and cut this down. Now usually it would be right about here. There would be plastic right about here. And what's happening is that this spur gear has a 440 grub screw. Now as you can see, this is tightened up all the way where I have it, and that's as far as it goes. It doesn't go down like a little bit more or flush with this part of the spur gear. And what happens is, when you don't grind that down, what's going on is, when this spins, this grub screw hits that part of the plastic, and you can only go back and forth with it because this is sticking out a lot. So by grinding that down, you're creating clearance, and that's the only modification you need to do to this chassis. Don't you know, it's perfectly fine. It won't hurt the car. Nothing wrong with Slot Invasion's, you know, setup here. It's just that grub screw's just a little big, and you have to accommodate for grinding your chassis a little bit down. Now, if you're the faint of heart and don't like grinding stuff, then don't get this kit. But it's really not that hard. A Dremel is one of your most important tools when you're playing with slot cars and, you know, tuning them. You do need the grind stuff, and it isn't going to kill the car. All you're going to do is grind down, file it down, or you can use an X-Acto blade and cut it away a little bit less than I did, and just do a fitment test by going back and forth to make sure that it spins around. So the reason why I say that, because if you shim this and use their shims, this is going to stick out more, and then it won't clear the body. What we're trying to do is get the proper body clearance, or, you know, the tire to clear the body here on this piece right here. It would stick out and hit this ridge here, and you would have a problem. So the only shims you would need is this one right here, which is 115 thousandths. It's a they have like a small, medium, and large one, so it'd be kind of the medium one. And all you do is going to put that in, and no shim here. You just put the spur gear with the shoulder facing inward, so it lines up with the pinion right here, and then you're going to get that axle spacer. I keep calling them shims, I'm sorry. Get that axle spacer and put this wheel in, and you're going to get the correct width that you need. Now these tires are really, really good tires. I'm kind of thoroughly impressed with them because I have not trued these. And this particular axle is not exactly a 1/8. It's a little bit, I would say, undersized in an 1/8. So it may be a metric size that I don't know. I didn't read on the website. I'm sure Oscar will correct me. But you know what? These things, actually, I didn't even true them. I didn't even glue them on. These things are on there real tight. The wheels have 2 ridges on them, which are nice. And this thing goes on there super tight. I mean, you'd have to really struggle to get it off by hand. But these tires, without being trued, handle on the track really well. And they hardly, I mean, I see hardly any slippage or any weird, you know, chattering or anything like that. They're really, really good tires, and I really like them a lot on these cars. And it may be that this car is heavier, which is, you know, it is a heavier car. You're talking about 148 grams, which is, you know, a lot heavier than your usual 132nd car. And you want to make sure also you put a little back and forth movement on this, not a lot. Now again, this will be a lot noisier because you have nylon gears, and of course the chassis is thin. You know, it's a plastic, so it will reverberate and make that, you know, that noise. If that's something you don't want, then don't get this. But if it's something that you really, it's not going to bother you, and you just want the car to perform well, you know what, go for it. It's really not a big deal, and it's not anything of I would just say concern for me. But for a you know, a not too super expensive hop-up part, it's not bad, because it comes with the wheels, the tires, the spur gear, the pinion, the bearings, the spacer, the hardware, and I mean, can't ask for more. I really like the kit. I bought one for the GT40 just to see how it would do there. Now with the GT40, excuse me, retake. Now with the GT40, you see that I just used the stock Carrera one, and also I have the urethane that I've trued for this. So we're going to replace it with this right here, and we'll see if we need to do any mods for that, which I doubt. I think the 917K is just a little bit of a car that's just different than all the rest of them. I mean, they're really good handling cars, so I think that's the only mod you'd have to do to this. Well, we'll see when we get the GT40 kit when they become available. But again, this is a real good, my opinion, good value to increase the performance of your car. If you want to go no magnet, if you leave the magnet, that's fine. But this is a no magnet car, and it really does well on my track. It handles real good on a plastic track. We'll have to see someday how it does on a wood track. But again, what's nice about Carrera is that you simply flip the switch on this chip, and it's an analog car. So it's kind of, that's kind of the one feature of Carrera that I like. You could go and take this somewhere and not have to worry about, you know, if they have a digital system or not. I guess this will flip to analog. So this is my small review and, you know, process of explaining the install and the modifications for it. And again, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please email me, make some comments, and please join the page. Appreciate it very much. And as always, you take care and have fun racing.